Yes, TikTok helped me diagnose my adult ADHD, but let me explain. For so long, a lot of the things that I thought were just character traits of mine, my personality, was really just my ADHD. Hey there everyone, this is Jessica from Domesticatedme.com. I am a lifestyle blogger and YouTuber. I cover everything from fashion, beauty, travel, you name it, I cover it all. And starting from today, I'm going to be doing a lot more of ADHD content. Before I begin, let me explain what's going to be included in this video. This will serve as an index for you, but also help me stay on track. I'm going to give you information about myself, my upbringing, things that I noticed growing up or things that I did growing up that I didn't realize were because of my ADHD, how TikTok led me to get screened, my diagnosis. I was actually diagnosed twice. I'll explain that, and what treatments I'm on and how it's been ever since. If there was one characteristic or one way to describe myself throughout my life, other than, you know, what is really my personality is being like a happy person, a nice person, it would be messy. In fact, I grew up in a Colombian household, and my aunt had given me the name Maria Reblujo, which means just like someone who's very messy. So I've been messy my whole life. I am the kind of person that has a ton of stuff on my desk, and I'm saying that as I'm looking at my desk with a ton of stuff all over it. I am someone who will, when I try to clean up, I will hyper focus on something, so that at the end of the day, it just looks like I haven't done anything. So I'll give you an example of that. I will go into my office, which is also my studio where I film videos, and I will say, I'm going to clean my office today. I'm going to pick up, I'm going to put things away, I'm going to throw things out. And all of a sudden, next thing I know, I am going through my lipstick. And this happened, I will go through my lipstick drawer and like make swatches of all the lipsticks and then organize them from light to darkest, and then hours have gone by, or it's the end of the day and I look around and the room looks exactly the same. I've always been someone who's late a lot because I tend to not have a realistic understanding of how long things take. Like, I get that, you know, for example, I know that if I put it in my Google Maps, it'll take me 45 minutes to get from here to there. But then leading up to that, I don't realize how long I'm going to take getting ready, doing my makeup, trying something on, giving me enough time so that I can change last minute if this doesn't fit right or something broke on this. It's very hard for me to conceptualize time and how much time I need. So I have an issue with time management. I am super forgetful. And again, I always thought like, that's just Jessica, you know, Jessica's the forgetful person. I got to the point where I was so forgetful that if I'm in my office and my husband texts me to check to see if there's milk in the fridge, I have to, and I've done this, I swear that I'm not joking, I will say milk, 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 milk as I walk through the apartment to get to the kitchen, to get to the fridge to see if there's milk in there, because by the time I get to the kitchen, if I get to the kitchen and I'm not distracted and go into another room to do something else, I will have completely forgotten what I went to the kitchen for. But most likely I will get distracted by other things, and that's why I forget to ultimately check to see if there's if there's milk in the fridge. Another thing that I do is that I'm very impulsive. I get excited about projects and I get all the things for the project, and I might even start the project, but it's rare for me to complete it. So here's the TikTok portion. How does TikTok play into this? Now, I know there's been a lot of controversy about TikTok diagnosing people, and let me just be clear, TikTok cannot diagnose you with anything, okay? You can't see a TikTok and say, I have this, I have that, and that's certainly true. I can't diagnose you either. Just because you go through the things that I've mentioned here doesn't necessarily mean that you have ADHD. You might have other things. I suffer from anxiety. A lot of these videos where you see like, these are signs that you have ADHD, a lot of that don't necessarily have to be ADHD. It could be a sign of anxiety or some other disorder, something else that you might need to get checked. At the end of the day, no matter what, you need to go to a professional. They are the only ones who can diagnose you with anything. A psychiatrist, get a referral from your doctor. I know that living here in the United States, it's not everyone has access to a medical team, a doctor who can do that. And hopefully this video can at least help you towards understanding yourself and maybe seeking some sort of professional assistance in diagnosing you or helping you with some of these things. I already have a video coming up of some of the things that I'm doing, that I have done and am now doing, that has helped me with my forgetfulness, with my organizational issues and cleaning and things like that. So if you're not subscribed, this is a perfect opportunity to remind you to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell icon next to the subscribe button so you'll be notified whenever my videos go out. If you set your notifications on for all, I make new videos every week, so if you have your notifications on, you won't miss a thing. So in December of 2021, January of 2022, I was away for the holidays and we were on a road trip, and I was on TikTok and I saw this video. I will try to find that creator and tag them in the description box below. Or if you know what video I'm talking about, feel free to leave it in the comment section below or leave the handle of that creator. Okay, so from what I remember of the video, she's like in her kitchen making herself a coffee. I think she spills something, or she just wants to clean her kitchen that day, so she goes to get a mop, or she goes to get something to clean with. She passes her bathroom and then stops and realizes that she needs to get something from her bathroom. Then she's down sitting on the floor in her bathroom organizing something, and she's got all this mess about her, and she tries to organize it, but then she realizes she needs to do something else, so she stops organizing this and goes to do that other thing, and then she stops doing that thing because she gets distracted with something else, and at the end of the day she goes back to the kitchen and it's back to like, oh, I need to mop this up. You know, she didn't do the one thing that she wanted to do in the beginning of the day. She started all of these other projects and has not completed any of them, which is something that I do, constantly. After seeing that video, I showed it to my husband and I said to him, like, doesn't this seem like me? Isn't this me? Like, isn't this me? And he said, yeah, it is. And so he and I started talking seriously, and I said, do you think I could have ADHD? And he was like, explain to me what ADHD is. So we started doing research online and like looking up what ADHD is and what were the symptoms. And then sure enough, I was just like checking everything off, like, this is me. What is like the most upsetting thing and the best thing really is that all this time I've just been thinking again that this is just who I am, and it's not. It's just something about how my brain functions that does not allow me to get from point A to point B every time. It's like, I know point A, I know point B, I know what I need to do to get to point B from A, but I just can't get there a lot of the time. So in January of 2022, I was diagnosed with ADHD. I got a referral from my doctor to get screened by a psychiatrist. And so I wrote notes for myself to tell the psychiatrist, and these are my notes. I've mentioned some of these things before. I've always been forgetful. It's a joke around the house how unorganized, with my husband, how unorganized I am, or how long it takes me to do things. Terrible at time management. I can't, sometimes it's hard for me to focus. I will either focus on like a small thing and not focus on the big picture thing. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to certain things. I want things done a certain way, and if they can't get done a certain way, then I will let it pile up for me to do. An example of that is that I fold my kids' clothes because I was on Instagram, and I saw the file folding method, and I love that method, so I do that. But guess what? My husband and my kids are not able to fold them like that, and so I tell them, don't fold it, I'll fold it, and then I'll put it away. But guess what? I have all these other things to do, so that clothes just stays there and it just doesn't get done. So my husband will be like, my husband constantly has to remind me, perfection is the enemy of progress. Let me fold it in whatever way to get it off your hands. And if you want to refold them at a later time and you have time and the energy and want to do it, you may. But we need to get these done. We need to get these out, or into their drawers. And I've been letting go of that. That's the thing. It's like, the mess part is misunderstood because we're messy, but it's not like we're dirty or we don't want to clean. It's just like we function in a different way. How can someone messy but also be a perfectionist? And that's one of the ways. I want it done a certain way, and if someone is offering me help, I would rather say no thank you, let me do it, even if it takes me longer and I might not even get to it when I am thankfully working on that and am letting go of that so that other people can help me and it's not all on my plate. so that it gets done. So that doctor prescribed me a medication called Strattera. It's a non-stimulant, and I read up on it and heard that it might take a couple of days to kind of kick in, and he put me on a very low dose, and the first time that I took it, it was incredible. All I can say is that it felt like my day slowed down and everything seemed to get quiet, and I started doing my tasks. I have a notebook full of to-do lists. It's my daily ritual. I start with my to-do list, and then I start checking things off as I do them, and normally I don't check off a bit, but that day I checked off a bunch, and next thing I know, it's 10 a.m. and the day has never ever been that slow for me, ever. It's usually I start doing something, and then next thing I know, it's like 1 o'clock, I need to eat lunch, and then I need to go pick up my kid, and I got maybe 1 or 2 things accomplished, completely accomplished. Like, I will start things, but to complete them, you know, and it was just game changing, and I was just like, oh my God, is this what it's like for everybody else? I just couldn't believe it. My day was, that's the only way that I can explain it. My day was slow and quiet, and it was incredible. And then what happened was that I got pregnant, and there are not enough studies on Strattera and its side effects on pregnant women and babies, so I decided to get off the meds completely. And so I did that. I delivered in October. So by the time December rolled in, when I wanted to see a psychiatrist and start my medication again, my doctor was out of network, my old doctor, so I had to do a new referral with a new psychiatrist. And they had to diagnose me again. They wanted to make sure, you know, it's a different doctor, so they need to go through all the questions, and we did an hour and a half, I think, was the whole appointment. And it was done over like a teleconference, and they asked me all these questions. I gave them all the examples that I had. Once they confirmed that yes, I do have ADHD, they have put me on Concerta. So that is what I'm taking now. I will do a follow-up video to tell you about how I'm doing on Concerta, any side effects that I'm feeling, how it's been helping me, how it hasn't, and all that in a future video. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my journey to a diagnosis and treatment and the start of a new life for me. And I hope that it's been helpful to you. Again, this is not meant to give you any sort of medical advice. If anything, I'm just would hope that you hear my story, and if it rings true to you, that you would then seek actual professional medical screening, advice, help, so that you can get down to address the issues that you're facing, whether that be ADHD or some other disorder or something completely different. Thank you again so much for watching. Click or tap right here to watch my last video, or click down below to watch another video that you might enjoy. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned.